Hey guys, welcome back to Table Torque. In today's video, we are going to talk about what back pressure is and what you need to do to build very strong back pressure. We will also cover all the variants of back pressure and other exercises to improve it. So make sure to watch it completely. Back pressure is the ability to pull your opponent towards yourself. Arm wrestling is just like any other sport where you attack the weaknesses. The weaknesses here are the joints. Your fingers and your wrist are the closest joints or weaknesses for your opponent to attack. When they open up, leverage decreases, and the opponent can go sideways more easily. In simpler terms, that becomes your first weak link. The next joint or weakness is the elbow. If the hand and wrist are the closest weaknesses a top roller targets, the elbow is the weakness hook puller's target. Top rollers attack the hand and wrist to expose the elbow angle more efficiently, while hook pullers attack the elbow angle directly. In both top roll and hook, your elbow is getting attacked, and that is the path through which your opponent brings you down to the pin pad. The muscles that help you resist the opening of the elbow are mainly controlled by two muscles, the bicep and the brachioradialis. You cannot fully activate the brachioradialis without the bicep, but you can activate the bicep without the brachioradialis. When your hand is completely supinated, you lose the connection to the brachioradialis. When you are pronated, you have both the brachioradialis and the bicep brachii working together. The biceps brachii and brachioradialis are separate muscles, but they work together to flex the elbow. They are not physically connected, but they attach to the forearm bones and act as a team during many pulling and lifting movements. The biceps also helps turn the palm upward, while the brachioradialis runs along the forearm and is most active when the hand is in a neutral or palms down position. A palm down position is where you have a maximally pronated hand. The biceps brachii has two parts. One is the long head and the other is the short head. The long head is on the outer side of the biceps, so it's closer to the brachioradialis than the short head. The brachialis is a strong muscle beneath the biceps. It attaches to the ulna and provides most of the power in elbow flexion, even though it isn't very visible. The biceps brachii is 2 to 3 times larger than the brachioradialis. That means the brachioradialis is quite small compared to the bicep. That is why if you are doing a heavy one-hand preacher curl, you can lift very big weights when it is well developed. Now I think you understand the muscles more clearly, so we can talk about the styles in which these muscles are involved. In this video, we are only talking about the top roll, and to hit back, you need to have strong back pressure. For that, you need to make your brachioradialis and bicep extremely strong. Now I'll explain the types of back pressure and ways to train it, along with other lifts that can help you progress your back pressure. We can train back pressure in 2 angles. The first setup is with the low pulley setup. This is more optimal for back pressure, meaning proper brachioradialis engagement. The second setup is with the pulley high, which focuses not only on back pressure but also on radial deviation or riser strength. In this position, you will get stuck at a weight where your riser can't handle the pressure. So for isolating back pressure, the lower pulley is the better option. Here in this video, Levin is using a high pulley. He lifts 72 kilograms in it, and in this video, ERMES is lifting same weight from a lower angle. The way Levin pulls is much more difficult compared to ERMES's lift. First, let's discuss the lower pulley. First method is keep your elbow planted on the elbow pad. Keep your wrist neutral or slightly pronated, and pull the weight straight back. When doing this, keep your shoulder to elbow line stable and do only the flexion of elbow. This will directly hit the whole brachioradialis and isolate it. You can do 3 sets of 15 reps. Do around 80% of your max and try to hit a PR once every month or once every 6 weeks. Next is the dragging back pressure. Here you can use the elbow pad to move your elbow back. Lock the angle and pull the weight back. While pulling, do not flex the arm. Just lock the angle and never let it drop. It's very hard to control this exercise if the weight increases. It is necessary to keep the angle locked. Do the sets and reps according to your endurance. Some people might feel that even 2 sets of 12 reps are not enough because their muscles last longer. So adjust based on your capacity. In the next one, keep your elbow angle locked, but instead of dragging, keep the elbow planted and post the weight straight back. Stabilize the elbow. As the weight increases, you may tend to drag the elbow, so avoid that. The next one is a combination of all 3. Post back and drag back at the same time, along with elbow flexion. This is the exact offensive movement we do on the table in a real match. So get used to all these movements and try to progress the weight in it. Cheating can be used when lifting heavier weights, but it's up to you to control how much you rely on it. For example, if 40 kilograms is your max lift with nearly perfect form and you can't do 45 kilograms, then cheat a bit. Maybe cheat the angle or the grip. Cheat lifts are very important in arm wrestling. We're not here for bodybuilding. We are loading the bones and tendons too by doing these movements. You can do it in either half range of motion or full range of motion. You can also do isometric holds where you lift the weight and hold it for a count of 10 and then increase the time to progress. But never go beyond a weight where you physically can't do anything. That is the point where you can get injured. So do proper warm-ups before and after the session. You are doing all these 4 straight to the back, including the combined one. Now pull it to the shoulder side of the opposite arm. This is back pressure with a slight offensive side move. Some top rollers tend to post back with back pressure and then go sideways. Some people just combine back pressure with side pressure. So for those people, do this movement where you back pressure the weight straight to the pin pad. This is good against certain levels of hook pullers. Use the same sets and reps, and do cheat reps at high weights. Now do the exact same exercises on the high pulley. In the high pulley, your riser will get more attacked, but you'll develop strong high knuckle pulling ability. But in this video, we plan to talk mainly about back pressure alone. Still, many people consider high pulley back pressure very important, so we are including it. The first form is where you set the elbow at the very front of the pad, or even in the middle of the pad, and set the same angle where you pull in the low pulley. Now pull the weight back with all you have. In this setup, you cannot lift much weight while keeping the elbow to hand angle inclined, because it basically becomes a riser lift. Your riser is isolated the most here. That's why when it gets heavy, you will get stuck and can't go further back. When the weight is too much in that angle, go to the next one. Here, keep the elbow to hand line straight upward, like the way Travis sets for his top roll. The angle where you get stopped in the first lift, this is where you start instead. From here, go for complete elbow flexion. If you want to be a very strong posting top roller, then progress on these 2 lifts. Instead of training riser and back pressure separately, do this combination. It will mimic the proper pulling strength on the table. In all these 6 forms of back pressure training on the table, as you increase the weight, your grip may change. You may supinate more, which engages the bicep more, allowing you to lift heavier weights that you couldn't lift with perfect form. That's not an issue. Those imperfect form lifts will make your structure strong enough over time so that later you can lift the same weight with proper form. But try to use proper form with the weight you are actually able to lift with proper technique. And now I'll give you some lifts that you should do to progress your back pressure. First one is the reverse curl with a barbell. In this lift, your hand is in a maximally pronated position, and in this grip, your brachioradialis is maximally activated. You can do it in a full range of motion, but I also recommend you do it with just the bar or just 5 or 10 kilos in a half range, where you hold it at the 90-degree position and lift it slightly up and back down. More like a micro rep movement. You can do 50 to 60 reps of micro reps, and you'll get an insane burn on the targeted muscle. You can do hammer curls with dumbbells. You can do them seated on a bench. If you try them standing, you'll most likely swing, which won't let you work the brachioradialis properly. But you can still do them standing if you control the form. You can also do heavy one-hand preacher curls in a hammer position, where the plane where you rest the elbow is vertical. This helps you engage the muscle more. Next one is hammer lifts with belts. This is an exercise with many variations, but we are not going to cover every single one due to the time limit. I'll give you the important ones. First is the normal curl, where you wrap the belt around your hand and do casual reps. Try to do it with proper form. Whenever you start a new exercise, first find how much weight you can lift for 1 rep. That is your PR. Then train with 70% of that weight. After 1 month or 6 weeks, check whether you can lift more than the previous PR. That is how you improve a lift. You can do different variations of these belted hammer curls. You can take a cloth, hang the weight on it, hold it in a neutral position, and do reps. This will also help your grip. While doing belt lifts, you can also engage pronation and riser strength, but we are not focusing on that here. We are purely talking about back pressure. Next is isometric holds. This is another monster lift, which will make your back pressure much stronger. An isometric hold is where you hold a weight in a fixed position without moving it. The muscle stays contracted, but the joint doesn't move. Here, use the same belt and weight, but load something heavier than your PR in the previous exercise. This won't make your muscles grow directly. Instead, it loads the tendons and skeletal structure in a way that makes them stronger over time. This is one of the main lifts done by the Kazakhs. This follows Wolff's Law. The bones adapt to the specific forces and loads placed on them. Over time, consistent loading makes the forearm and upper arm bones denser and stronger, especially around tendon attachment points. With heavy isometric training, the nervous system learns to activate more muscle fibers under high pressure. So on the arm wrestling table, you can exert more force in a static position because your body's already used to handling heavy loads without movement. Also, try to use bands also for back pressure. Bands can give you a type of pressure that weights cannot. If you want to mimic the exact pressure from a real match, bands are much closer than weight training. With weights, the load is constant. In a real match, the pressure changes constantly and comes from different angles. So try to incorporate bands into your training. I'm not going too far. There are many more variations for all of these exercises. And there are many other exercises that improve your overall arm strength for back pressure, like rope climbing, neutral grip pull-ups, and more. But due to time constraints, we're ending this video here. You should also train other muscle groups, such as the shoulders, forearms, pecs, lats, and grip strength. All of these will help you build a better connection on the table. Don't listen to people who say you shouldn't train your pecs, shoulders, or grip. Those same people have already gone through all of this training at some point in their journey. It's like rich people saying money doesn't matter, so make sure you train all of them. The only advice I want to give you is, do proper warm-ups before and after the workout session, because we are dealing with bigger weights and loading the skeletal structure more than just the muscles. So do at least 20 minutes of warm-up before starting anything. That's all for today. Subscribe for more videos like this. See you later.